This gripping story comes from the YouTube channel Mooch, where creator David documents his daring adventures through the haunting world of urban exploration. From forgotten factories to decaying hospitals, David has seen it all. But in this particular video, he and his friend Felix push the boundaries even further by planning to spend the night inside a derelict manor house abandoned for over 30 years. At first, everything goes smoothly. It's March 6th, 2015. The duo quietly slips into the crumbling mansion undetected. Dust dances in the shafts of sunlight piercing through broken windows, and silence clings to the empty halls. They begin filming, soaking in the eerie stillness. But that silence doesn't last long. A voice echoes from outside.
We did say we'd climb over, but the gentleman said not to bother in case we hurt ourselves. This is where I get castrated.
At first, it's hard to make out the words, but the message becomes crystal clear. They've been spotted. Instead of panicking, David and Felix decide to stay calm and confront whoever's outside. Maybe it's just a curious local. Maybe they can explain. But as they step out of the shadows and into the daylight, things take a sharp and unsettling turn. That's how the confrontation begins.
Buildings, take photographs. We've got no criminal intentions. We can see this stuff. You know, I've been to places where, you know.
Reflection meets aircraft and stuff. It's just a building you're interested in.
Yeah, and like, you know, the inside, just like all the old.
Give me a search, my friend, under section 1 of the Police and Criminal Evidence.
Yeah, sure, no problem, buddy.
You got anything on you shouldn't have?
No.
It's silly, though.
No, don't do.
Weapons, any tools?
Nope. Drive a piece. Drive a piece. I've got lots of sugar in there because there was a ball in here. So I bought some sugar in case the ball came over to feed him.
Okay.
That was it.
Go ahead.
Been in there. Needs a lick of paint.
What was your old address?
Sorry?
What's your old address?
My old address.
The man is furious. He accuses them of trespassing, of damaging his fence, even of ruining his Saturday morning. David and Felix try to de-escalate, reassuring him that they're only there to take photographs. No harm meant, no break-ins, no theft. Just two explorers documenting the beauty of decay. But the man isn't having it.
It's just the one car.
Yeah. Felix lives in London. I live down in Kent, so I drive up. I'll drive up from Kent. Yeah. I'm driven further. You know, all we do, mate, is take photos. You know what I mean? But I can understand. You know, I was speaking to a young lady who came here a few months ago, I think, and she said, "Oh, just be aware of the owner." How comes there's so many of you then turned up? It's like the cavalry. Oh, right.
He rages on, claiming the police are already on their way. His aggression doesn't just seem like anger, it feels like fear, as if he's not just upset by their presence, but terrified of what they might find. David keeps his cool. He stays respectful, calm, polite. But deep down, both he and Felix realize they've probably overstayed their welcome. They were planning to camp inside that night. Had they been caught later, after retrieving their gear, it could have ended a lot worse. Then the police arrive. David and Felix are cuffed. Despite the tension, the officers remain professional. David explains everything. They're explorers, not criminals. They didn't break in. They didn't steal anything. All they took were photos. The officers listen. The truth comes out. Yes, the landowner claimed they were attempting robbery.
I I know.
Yeah.
Have you ever been arrested ever in your life?
God, when I was a kid.
Right, okay, it's probably a long time ago and things have probably changed, okay?
Yeah.
The reason we need to get you in there is because we can't talk about it here.
Okay.
And believe it or not, it's for your rights and entitlements as well, so things are done legally.
Right.
Okay, so you are entitled to certain rights, one of those being a solicitor.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know what you're doing here and it's not my job to ask you here and now.
Yeah.
It's to ask you in a tape recorded interview.
Okay.
Okay? Come on.
It's only that one, it's a tiny bit tight. We're not here to cause any trouble, mate. We're sorry to bother you, mate. You know what I mean? We're only taking photos. I'll show you something when we get back down in it.
But there was no evidence, no intent. In the UK, simple trespassing is a civil offense, not a criminal one, unless property is damaged or someone refuses to leave. After questioning at the station, all charges are dropped. In the end, it was a tense but harmless brush with the law. But it could have been much worse. Had they stayed the night or been caught deeper inside the house, the situation might have spiraled. This experience became more than just a story. It became a reminder. In the world of urban exploration, unpredictability is the only guarantee. No matter how well you plan, the unknown always finds a way in. David and Felix were lucky. Let's just hope that luck doesn't run out next time. Before we jump into the next encounter, I just want to take a moment to thank and congratulate all of you. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. We are working harder than ever to bring you the scariest and most entertaining hiking encounters out there. Our goal? To take this channel to the top, and nothing's gonna stop us. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and enjoy the rest of the show. When we hit 10,000, a few lucky subscribers will get a surprise. Just make sure you're subscribed and have liked the video. Want a better chance to win? Drop a comment with your thoughts on the clips. Now let's dive back into the video. While hiking near the railroad tracks in Mission Park, San Antonio, a man snapped a quick photo, but what he saw later left him speechless. When he reviewed the image, two mysterious figures appeared in the distance, standing eerily still. Locals have long whispered tales of ghostly children who push stalled cars off the tracks. But this was something entirely different. Confused and unsettled, unsure if he'd captured a trick of the light or something truly supernatural, he posted the photo online, and the internet hasn't stopped talking about it since. On October 27, 2024, a man exploring an abandoned railway station stumbled upon something bone-chilling.
रात के 12 बज रहे हैं और आप लोग देख सकते हैं दूर दूर तो कोई नज़र नहीं आ रहा। इस रेलवे स्टेशन पे नज़र आ रही तो सिर्फ वो औरत। ये यहाँ पे देख सकते हो भाई, रात के 12 बजे ये औरत यहाँ पे क्या कर रही है। जैसा लोग बोलते थे कि भाई ये औरत नहीं, ये औरत की आत्मा है जो कि ट्रेन के आने का इंतज़ार करती रहते हैं और यहाँ ट्रेन निकलेगी उसके पीछे ही जाती है, पता नहीं क्या करना चाहती है। कई सारे लोगों को
Sitting motionless on a weathered bench was a pale woman, silent, eerily still. At first, he thought she was just another lost soul, until she vanished. When he glanced down to check his camera, she was right there. But when he looked up again, the bench was empty, gone. He swears she wasn't human, but a restless spirit trapped in time, forever waiting for trains that will never return. Locals believe she's the reason no one dares set foot there after dark. And now, so does he. In April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason, who runs the channel Appy Mountain Trekkers, uploaded what initially seemed like a routine video, a solo overnight camping trip deep in the mountains. Jason's channel is all about the great outdoors, hiking, camping, and surviving off the land. Most of his uploads are peaceful, almost therapeutic. But this video, it took a chilling turn. The hike up was uneventful. Jason cheerfully filmed himself pitching his tent and starting a campfire as the sun dipped behind the trees.
Figured I'd take a break. Got about 3 hours of daylight left.
While waiting for nightfall, he tried his hand at spoon carving, a quiet, relaxing activity. But as the forest darkened, things began to feel off. That's when he first heard it, a strange sound echoing from the mountaintop.
Alright guys, we'll give you a quick update. It's about 10 after 10. I laid down about 9 o'clock and I was trying to go to sleep. It took me a while and I was almost asleep, and sometime before 10 I was woke up by something I've never heard in my life. I heard like 4 quick, very loud, deep guttural calls on this ridge behind me, behind camp. There's like a dip on the other side and it goes up to a higher ridge on this backside, and it sounded like it come from over there.
He brushed it off as a bird or maybe a small animal, but he admitted later it gave him pause. By 9 p.m., Jason turned off the camera and climbed into his tent for the night. But less than an hour later, something woke him up. A sound. Not just any sound, something guttural, unnatural. Hours passed. Then, around 1 a.m., he was awakened again, this time not by a distant call, but by the unmistakable sound of something circling his tent.
About 1 o'clock, I woke up again. I heard something circle my camp. Hear that?
As Jason swept his flashlight across the trees, you can just barely make out something in the bottom left corner of the screen. 2 glowing sets of eyes reflecting in the beam. They're low to the ground, unmoving, watching. While many animals' eyes reflect light at night, the sharp, fiery white glow suggests these could have belonged to wolves or coyotes. Domesticated dogs also produce white reflections, but the odds of a pet wandering the mountains at 1 a.m. are slim. If these were coyotes or wolves, especially if they had pups nearby, Jason was in danger. But here's the chilling part. Jason doesn't seem to notice the eyes at all. He never comments on them, never zooms in. He simply scans the area, then retreats into his tent and somehow manages to sleep through the night. The next morning, he filmed a short update before heading back down the mountain, but not once did he mention the eyes his camera had caught watching him. To this day, there has been no follow-up on the incident, no explanation. Just one eerie video, and a sense that Jason might not have been alone out there in the woods. Lewis, Clark, and their friends thought exploring an old abandoned train hidden deep within the forest would be fun. Most of the train cars were empty, silent, and eerie, but nothing too unusual. That is, until they reached the caboose. Inside, the air felt heavier. The sheets covering the benches were stained with dark red spots. Something large, something unnaturally heavy, was hidden beneath one of them.
Alright, then we'll come, let's go. What is that? What? What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Just go, just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we need to get out.
Fucking go, 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 go.
That shit. Come on.
Fuck! Ugh. There's mud everywhere, Anne. Wait, is that a body? Is that a body? We need to call the police, mate. We need to. Oh my god, this has happened before, bro. This has happened before. Ow, I hit my fucking head.
Mate. I'm fucking wrong,
No one dared to lift the sheet. They bolted, even leaping over another blood-stained cover on their way out, hearts pounding. To this day, no one knows what was under those sheets. Some say it was a body, others think it was something even worse. But one thing's certain, Lewis and his friends never went back. Rody runs a YouTube channel often documenting his adventures traveling across the country and sleeping in his truck. His videos usually highlight the peaceful side of nomadic life, stunning nature shots, the freedom of the open road, and self-reliance. But one particular upload from December 2017 took a much darker turn. The footage came from an unsettling experience earlier that year while Rody was car camping in a quiet parking lot around 1:30 a.m. Out of nowhere, a hooded man appeared and began circling his truck, snapping photos of the license plates.
30 in the morning when I heard someone walking around my truck, and whenever you're sleeping, somewhere public and you hear somebody walking right outside your truck, it's always a little bit alarming. So what you'll see here in a second, he pulls out his phone and starts taking pictures. It looks like of my license plate or something like that. I'm not sure why he was doing this. So I thought maybe, I wasn't allowed to park there and he was taking pictures of my license plate, but it's kind of odd to be doing that at 1:30 in the morning. And he didn't look like a security guard or anything like that. Also, some of you may be wondering why he's not able to see me in the back. And where I was parked, the street light shined into the cab, but the camper shell has really tinted windows, so it was pitch black in the back where I was. So after he'd done a few laps around my truck, and I could tell it looks like he's up to no good, he comes back around and tries to shine his flashlight into the back of my camper shell. You'll see here in a second. And I just bang on the window, and he takes off running. So he probably wasn't expecting that.
Since the back of the truck, where Rody was sleeping, was pitch black, the man likely assumed it was empty. Completely unaware he was being recorded, the stranger lingered around the vehicle, acting suspiciously for several minutes. Eventually, he crept up to the side and shined a flashlight through the windows, possibly trying to see inside. That's when Rody made his move. With a loud bang on the inside of the truck, he startled the man, who immediately bolted into the night. It's unclear what his intentions were, but given his behavior, it's not far-fetched to think he may have been planning a carjacking or worse. Thankfully, Rody acted quickly, avoided a potentially dangerous situation, and found somewhere safer to spend the rest of the night. One night, Jay Brannon found himself drawn to an abandoned church beside a graveyard on Long Island. At first, everything seemed quiet, even. But then, strange flickering lights began to pulse from within the church. They flashed erratically, growing brighter and more intense, almost as if they were responding to his presence. Unnerved, Jay didn't dare step inside. The next morning, curiosity got the better of him. He returned to the church in daylight, only to find it completely deserted. No signs of life, no trace of the eerie lights. But what he discovered next chilled him to the bone. The church had burned down 3 times and had been struck by lightning twice. Whatever those lights were, they may not have been electrical at all. Maybe something from the past still haunts the ruins. A Reddit user came across something that felt ripped from a nightmare. A tree entirely covered in strange, unnatural-looking skulls. The air around it felt off, thick with a dread that didn't belong to the world of the living. Haunted by what they saw, the user returned the next day to get a better look. But the tree and every single skull had completely vanished. No footprints, no broken branches, not even a trace of disturbed soil. It was like the whole thing had been wiped from existence, or was never really there to begin with. 2 wild campers set off into the heart of the Welsh wilderness, eager for an adventure in a remote, abandoned building, a place rumored to be haunted. After clearing out the cobwebs and tidying up the space, they began exploring its eerie corners, trying to shake off the unsettling atmosphere while casually chatting about the mysterious history of the place. But then, something happened.
Fucking mental.
Well stoked.
Yeah, certainly is.
Suddenly, a sound pierced the silence. They tried to carry on as if nothing had happened, but the strange noises continued, growing more intense.
No, there's my torch. Right, let me get out there. Definitely, what the hell is that noise?
The air felt heavier and a chill set in. Despite the growing unease, they decided to investigate, stepping into the darkness armed only with their torches. As they ventured outside, the eerie noises became louder.
There's no one here.
Bloody hell. What the freaking hell was that noise?
Oh man,
Oh, dude.
that presumes it's a secret key button.
Unnerving them even more, they returned downstairs, their nerves on edge. And that's when they noticed something that made their blood run cold, something they hadn't seen before. But before they could process what was happening, they both froze. Hanging in the doorway was something they couldn't explain. Still, despite the overwhelming fear, they pushed forward. But things were far from over. As the night stretched on, it only grew darker. The unsettling noises and chilling presence seemed relentless. And yet, they made it through the night, though their minds would never quite let go of the haunting mystery of what exactly lurked in that remote building. What was the true story behind the strange happenings they witnessed? Was it just the wind, or something far more sinister? A Reddit user shared a chilling story about their friend who went hiking deep into the woods one quiet afternoon. While wandering through the dense, silent forest, he casually took a photo of the trees, just a random snapshot. But later, when he looked back at the picture, he noticed something disturbing. Behind one of the trees stood a massive black figure, partially hidden but towering over anything human-sized. Some swear it looks like Bigfoot, while others chalk it up to eerie shadows and imagination. What do you think? Ooh. A Russian biker and his friend were cruising through what looked like an abandoned, crumbling village, capturing everything on a helmet cam. It seemed like just another eerie ride, until something wild happened. Out of nowhere, one of them plunged into a massive hole in the ground caused by a burst pipe. The water inside? Murky, foul-looking, and the kind of brownish color that makes you wonder if it's sewage. For a moment, it looked like a total disaster was unfolding. But according to Russian reports, it wasn't nearly as dangerous as it appeared. While taking a nighttime walk near an old, supposedly abandoned mansion in Globe, Arizona, Reddit user Smithery Guy captured something chilling. As he scanned the building with his flashlight, he caught a glimpse of movement in one of the windows, sending shivers down his spine.
Good morning. Is that something right there? Is that somebody right there? No way. No fucking way. Is that somebody right there? Hey. Can you hear me? Can you say something?
Calling out to whoever, or whatever might be inside, he received nothing but silence. Despite his efforts to uncover the truth, the source of the movement remains a mystery. leaving one haunting question behind. Is the mansion truly abandoned? Or is something still lurking within its walls? While hiking through the remote wilderness of Norway, a man stumbled upon something chilling. An old, abandoned house hidden deep in the forest. Curious, he stepped inside and was shocked to find the place still had electricity. As he ventured deeper into the dark, eerie rooms, things took a terrifying turn. Out of nowhere, a strange, shadowy creature locked eyes with him. Frozen in fear, the man panicked, lost his footing, and tumbled down the stairs. The footage cuts off suddenly, leaving behind an unsettling mystery. Was it something paranormal, or is there a more logical explanation? In 2020, a Reddit user casually snapped a selfie in their living room. At the time, only their sister and dad were supposed to be home, no one else. But when they looked closer at the photo, something chilling stood out. In the background, a figure was visible. It wasn't their sister. It wasn't their dad. Strange things had always happened in that house, but this felt different. The figure looked too real. It even cast a shadow. That one detail changed everything. Was it a ghost accidentally caught on camera? Or had someone been inside the house the whole time, completely unnoticed? A man ventured into the mysterious woods of Rivington, a location shrouded in unsettling legends, most notably the tale of a demonic headless horseman said to haunt the area. Intending to enjoy a peaceful bushcrafting trip away from the bustle of civilization, he set up his hammock in a secluded spot, far from other campers. As night fell, the atmosphere quickly shifted. The peaceful rustling of leaves turned into suspicious noises, sharp movements echoing from the trees behind him. At first, he assumed it might be wildlife or fellow campers wandering nearby, but the sounds weren't steady or natural. It was like something was darting through the trees, deliberately stopping when he paid attention. Then, without warning, the stillness shattered.
So I don't know if they're making their way over this side because they might have seen my light. Hear that? Click, click, click. I know the seagulls are going. What the hell is that? Right, let's go get a drink and something to eat. Right, so I'm literally just here in the hammock, and all of a sudden all I heard is bang, 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 like 3 gunshots. It's literally what it sounded like, 3 gunshots. So I looked over to where those other lads are.
3 loud bangs, sharp, sudden, and unmistakable. They rang out like gunshots in the night. He scanned the area, spotting torchlights flickering from the direction where other campers were set up. But what followed was a disturbing silence. The lights dimmed. No voices, no laughter, just the kind of quiet that presses down on you. Feeling uneasy, he decided to pack up his gear and move deeper into the woods. But just as he started to dismantle his hammock, something was thrown at him deliberately. He saw it fly through the air. Someone or something was targeting him. He called out, hoping it was just another group messing around, but there was no response. Just more flickering lights and the creeping sense that he was no longer alone.
I'm being followed. And this isn't a smart place to come. Plus it's a dead end right in front of me. I'm literally having to back up nice and slow. I know there's nobody going to be in front of me, but just now I have a chance somebody's behind me. I hate tight spaces as well. This isn't helping my anxiety. Right, literally just got that gap. As I got out, I swear it's gunshots. I heard it again. But this time it was fantastic. But they didn't. Somebody flung something at me. And I know they flung it because I seen it coming towards me, not dropping down, if you know what I mean. Where you could have said, oh, maybe it's just a branch snapped off a tree you had in the woods after all. There was nothing like that. It come like this towards me. And then I heard like...
He rushed to gather the rest of his belongings and get away from the area. Eventually, he found his way to an old, abandoned castle ruin nestled deeper in the forest. It should have felt safe. It didn't. The sense of being followed only grew stronger. Every rustle behind him felt calculated. Every shadow stretched a little too far. Realizing that no matter how far he walked, he would not find comfort, he made the difficult decision to end his adventure early. Whatever haunted these woods, real or supernatural, had made one thing clear. He wasn't welcome. A curious user decided to take a walk in the quiet forest behind their street. After sitting alone on a rock for about 30 minutes, their sister called out from home, urging them to come back. It was getting dark, and she had a bad feeling about something she couldn't explain. The user agreed to head back in 10 minutes. But just as they stood up to leave, they noticed something. Something was staring at them. They brushed it off at first, thinking, maybe it's just a tree. But the uneasy feeling lingered.
Alright, well, I'm just going for a walk. That's a bit sus. I even looked that way and there was nothing there earlier. I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. I'm going home now. Bye-bye.
They even glanced in that direction earlier and swore there was nothing there. Still uneasy, they decided to head home. Later, when they reviewed the video they had taken in the forest, their heart dropped. In the background was a shadowy black spot, one that eerily resembled a face or hair. Terrified, they bolted home. They haven't stepped into those woods since, and now they finally understand why their sister always said she heard strange sounds out there. About 11 years ago, a group of friends went out mudding for a fun day off-road. At one point, one of their trucks got stuck, and naturally, they snapped a few photos to laugh about later. Months down the line, while revisiting those pictures and joking about the moment, someone noticed something chilling in the background stood a man, hidden among the trees, silently watching them. None of them had seen him that day. So, the question is, who was out there in the woods? And if it was just an ordinary person, why didn't he come over to help? While out for a walk in the woods near their home, someone stumbled upon a strange, eerie structure hidden among the trees. Curiosity led them inside, and that's when it hit them. This was a witch's hut. They snapped a few photos and posted them online, sparking a flood of urgent warnings from commenters. Don't touch anything. Don't take anything. But it was too late. They already had. Most people would know better than to mess with something like this. But the uploader didn't seem fazed. Instead of fear, they were filled with one burning question. Who left these objects behind and why? Two friends set out to explore an abandoned convent about an hour from town. The place was creepy, but perfect for a viral TikTok dance, so they hit record. As the girl danced, the guy behind the camera suddenly froze. Just over her shoulder, something didn't feel right. They inched closer, and that's when they saw it.
What the fuck? Andy, stop. Oh my god. Stop. Hold him. What the fuck is that? Holy shit. Oh my god.
A group of people standing in a tight circle, heads bowed, silently performing what looked like a ritual. Shaken to the core, the friends fled. The video cuts off, with no answers, only questions. In another chilling encounter, a man went hiking deep into the woods. Everything was normal until he felt eyes on him. Turning slowly, he spotted a figure staring straight at him, completely still, completely silent. But when he approached, it wasn't a person at all. Hanging from a tree branch was a bathrobe with a mask attached to it. No footprints, no sign of who or what. Put it there, just the unsettling feeling that he was never alone. A Reddit user recently shared a chilling video they captured while driving through Gettysburg's infamous wheat field, a site drenched in Civil War history and ghostly legends. Filmed at night, the clip starts quietly, until the unmistakable sound of fifes and drums slowly rises in the distance. There's no one in sight, no reenactments, just eerie phantom music echoing through the darkness. The moment sent shivers down viewers' spines. In the comments, others chimed in with their unsettling encounters. Reports of cannon fire in the dead of night, the thunder of invisible horse hooves pounding the earth, and whispers carried by the wind. One thing's for sure, Gettysburg's wheat field isn't just a battlefield, it's a place where the past refuses to rest. A hiker exploring a remote ancient church, once known for dark rituals and burials, thought he was alone. At first, everything seemed normal, but as he was leaving, his camera captured something unsettling. A woman silently standing in the distance.
I had a feeling here. Let me see how this camera here is recording. Okay, it's cool there. It's cool. I had a feeling here. Look out here, guys. Listen there. I believe the camera caught it now.
Later, he heard something even more disturbing. A child's voice echoing from the forest, calling out, "Mommy, Daddy." Compelled to return days later, he found the area even more unsettling. While walking through tall grass, he saw something terrifying, though he never said exactly what. Shaken, he rushed back to the church, but as he stepped inside, strange sounds filled the air, whispers and repeated words like, "Scoot, scoot."
There was a noise right next door, look. Oh my goodness, man, look at this, man, look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh, whoa, listen, look at this. Whoa. Man, you're crazy. Look at this, guys. Man, that's impressive.
The church was empty, completely still, no one in sight. And yet, he couldn't shake the feeling. Something was watching him. This chilling photo was taken inside an abandoned house in Lakeland, Florida, by a team of paranormal investigators. As soon as they reviewed the image, they fled the scene. Why? Take a look at the window. A ghostly floating head appears to be staring out. Locals have long believed the house is haunted. Years ago, a young girl is said to have taken her own life there, and many claim her restless spirit still lingers within its walls. While camping near Irgby, deep in the Sahara close to the Algeria-Morocco border, a traveler snapped a chilling photo of a mysterious white figure standing alone in the distance. When the image was shown to locals, their reaction shifted from curiosity to concern. They claimed it resembled a spirit and urgently warned the traveler not to wander outside after dark. So what was caught on camera that night? A supernatural presence, or just a trick of the light and motion blur? While using the Randonautica app, Chris and his friends ventured deep into the woods, but they never expected what they were about to find.
So the other day, me and a bunch of friends decided to go explore a park that was located nearby all of our houses. And in the creepy back area, we found a lot of coffins. And we got curious and opened one, and there were spikes inside. And it reminded me of one of those medieval Iron Maidens. And then we found this table nearby. It looked like one of those tables that you like tie people to and torture them. So, mad sketch. Maybe if you blow this up.
Hidden in a remote clearing was something straight out of a nightmare, a field full of coffins. Curiosity got the better of Chris, and when he opened one, things got even stranger. Nearby, a table stood eerily in the open, surrounded by ropes scattered across the ground, clear signs that someone or something had been there not long before. So, what exactly did they uncover that day? Deep in the woods, a man was jolted awake by strange noises echoing from his roof. Grabbing his camera, he stepped outside to investigate.
What the fuck is that? Ain't shit up there. Ain't shit up there.
As he hit record, he scanned the area and said, "Ain't nothing up there. So what the hell is it then?" But before he could make sense of it, something suddenly reappeared, sending chills down his spine.
What the fuck? Where we going? The fuck is that? Alright. Hey, I'm black. You need to fuck up out of there.
So what exactly was lurking on his roof that night? And why did it vanish, then return? A TikTok user was suddenly jolted awake in the dead of night by the unmistakable sound of galloping hooves right outside his window. Half asleep and thinking it might just be a horse, he peeked outside only to find nothing there. But the sound didn't stop. The thunderous galloping echoed through the street, clear as day, yet not a single horse or person was in sight. Grabbing his phone, he hit record, capturing the eerie audio of something invisible racing past his home. Late one night, a security camera captured something eerie through a window of a remote home deep in the woods. It appeared for just 3 seconds, then vanished without a trace. The footage quickly spread, sparking wild theories. Some viewers swore it looked like a skinwalker. Others chalked it up to a creepy prank. But the homeowner isn't buying that, not in a place this isolated. She's shaken and still searching for answers. A Reddit user named jturley85 recently shared a chilling video that has left viewers baffled. According to his post, the footage came from one of his wife's co-workers who had gone hunting in the mountains over the weekend. They brought along a pack of dogs, but during the trip, 2 of them mysteriously vanished. After hours of searching, the dogs were eventually found, but they'd been torn apart. While trying to piece together what happened, the group spotted something strange through a scope and managed to capture it on video. The figure appeared tall, with disturbingly long, thin arms, and a body covered in what looked like hair. Even more unsettling was how it moved, unnatural, almost inhuman. Some viewers speculated it could have been a hunter in camouflage, but that explanation doesn't quite add up. Who or what could tear dogs apart like that? No one has the answer, and that's what makes this so disturbing. A Reddit user once posted an ordinary photo of a quiet forest floor, just some dry leaves and twigs. Nothing special at first glance, but take a closer look and you'll spot something chilling. A copperhead snake, expertly camouflaged and nearly invisible among the debris. One careless step and that peaceful hike could have turned into a nightmare. 2 teenage boys were out filming, just messing around with a new camera, having fun. Everything seemed perfectly normal until they spotted something off. In the distance stood a man, motionless, staring directly at them. He didn't move, didn't speak, just watched. Creeped out, they laughed it off and kept filming.
Lilika. Au, Isuse Bože.
Ček, to ono opet...
To ono liko je piše. Kaj je? Kaj je?
Dobro, daj...
Kaj lik? Kaj je vrak?
Nemam pojma, daj ga šutni, ja ne znaš. Daj ga šutni.
Neću se. Mislim da je pijan, umeš.
Okej, mislim da idemo... Ajmo mi odavde, ajmo.
Fuck, Isuse Bože, si mu vidio?
But a few moments later, the same man appeared again, closer this time. That's when they ran.
Kaj, jel to on, Isuse Bože? Snimaj ga, sad ga snimaj, sad nemoj pobjeći. Kaj radi, Isuse Bože? Kaj radi?
Ne znam. Ej, jel si ti u redu, onak?
Oprostite, jel vam treba pomoć? Ko je vrag, onak?
Idemo do Mati, ne, naš
Da sam pijan. Okej, znači, Matija, Studeni...
Koji kat?
5. kat.
They bolted into an apartment building, jumped into the elevator, thinking they were safe. But as the doors opened, he was already inside. Then the footage cuts. The rumor? The boys were never seen again. Neither was the man. To this day, no one knows what happened. Some say it was staged. Others swear it felt too real to fake. Either way, it's deeply unsettling. While capturing photos of an old school being demolished, a woman noticed something chilling in one of her shots. As she reviewed the images later, one in particular made her freeze. In the dimly lit hallway just left of center stood a shadowy figure, partially obscured by darkness. The eerie part? That section of the building had already been cleared, and no workers were anywhere near it. So, who or what was standing there? Could it have been the spirit of a former teacher or principal, unwilling to leave the place they once called home? In 2020, a Reddit user casually snapped a selfie in their living room. At the time, only their sister and dad were supposed to be home, no one else. But when they looked closer at the photo, something chilling stood out. In the background, a figure was visible. It wasn't their sister. It wasn't their dad. Strange things had always happened in that house, but this felt different. The figure looked too real. It even cast a shadow. That one detail changed everything. Was it a ghost accidentally caught on camera? Or had someone been inside the house the whole time, completely unnoticed? Reddit user Individual Insect 722 got a Ring camera alert early one morning. Thinking it might be a curious animal, they checked the footage, only to see something chilling. A person dressed completely in white silently wandered around their property. They had just moved to a remote area with no neighbors, no foot traffic, and a house that sits alone atop a fenced hill surrounded by dense forest. They'd felt a little uneasy living there before, but this was different. Who was this stranger, and how did they even get in? Deep in the Appalachian mountains, one explorer had an encounter he'll never forget. Inside a cave, everything felt eerily still. No echoing drips, no scuttling critters, just total silence. At the time, it seemed peaceful, until he reviewed his GoPro footage later. That's when things got chilling.
The leaves. The mud just broke off as I left.
In the video, as he leaves the cave and the mud gives way beneath his feet, a distant, blood-curdling scream pierces the quiet. He hadn't heard a thing in person, but the camera did. Loud, clear, and terrifying. Reddit lit up with theories. Some claimed it was just a mountain lion, a wild hog, maybe even a fox. But others? They said it sounded way too human. So the question remains, what was screaming from the shadows? For 2 nights straight, a family kept hearing blood-curdling screams echoing from deep within the forest. At first, they tried to shrug it off, until the screams moved onto their roof. That's when things got real. Suddenly, something or someone started moving around the other side of the house. Whispers started flying.
They're all over the damn place again tonight. Okay, I'm gonna keep walking towards it. Might actually get to capture something here. Son of a bitch. Alright, whatever you are, you need to leave. Stay out of this place. This is our home.
Was it a skinwalker? A wild animal? Maybe even a mountain lion? But then it got even stranger. On the far side of the house, they discovered an animal skeleton completely intact. No blood, no visible wounds. Just there. Since then, no new updates. And the silence? It's somehow louder than the screams. Deep in the isolated stretches of the Appalachian Mountains, a woman living alone on a vast, fenced-in farm captured something chilling on video. With no neighbors for miles and no reason for anyone to be on her property, she was shocked to see 2 young girls wandering near her home late at night. She claims she doesn't recognize them, and given how remote her location is, their presence makes no sense. Some viewers believe these weren't ordinary girls at all. Instead, they suspect something far more sinister. Skinwalkers, shape-shifting entities known in legend for mimicking human forms to lure victims out. Even the woman admits she can't rule it out. He was just walking his dog through the woods when something strange caught his attention. Half hidden in the underbrush, a small device buzzed with eerie static. At first it seemed like random noise, but soon a pattern emerged. A voice, faint yet deliberate, speaking in what a friend later confirmed was Mandarin. The entire encounter felt unsettling, almost like it wasn't meant to be found. To this day, no one knows what the device was or who put it there. During a scream therapy session deep in the woods, a girl let out a loud, gut-wrenching shriek. Suddenly, a man burst into the frame, clearly caught off guard and mid-squat, doing his business. The timing was impeccable, and his panic, priceless. While clearing out an abandoned homeless encampment deep in the woods, Reddit user HollyWhizzle311 stumbled upon something truly unsettling. Amid the debris, discarded trash, and shattered belongings stood a worn wooden cross. But what really sent chills down their spine was what was attached to it. What looked eerily like a real piece of human vertebrae. No note, no explanation, no one in sight. Whatever happened here, it left behind more questions than answers, and a lingering sense of dread. A woman living deep in the Appalachian mountains was home alone when she captured this eerie footage and posted it to TikTok. Out here in the Appalachians, the rules are simple and deadly serious. If you hear something, you didn't. If someone calls your name from the woods, don't answer. If you hear tapping on the window at night, don't look. Never whistle after dark. Stay on the trail. Always. And if something looks human, but something feels off, it's not human. Most importantly, don't talk about it too much. Some things don't like being noticed. So if you ever plan on visiting Appalachia, remember these rules. They just might save your life. About 9 years ago, someone was driving up Matt Helix in La Mesa, California, that's out in San Diego County, when they stopped to snap a few photos of that famous roundhouse, the one locals say might rotate. Just a casual outing, right? But here's where it gets creepy. Later that day, while reviewing the photos, boom, they noticed something strange hiding in the trees. It wasn't a shadow, it wasn't a trick of the light. It looked like a ghost, and not just any ghost. When they Googled Matt Helix ghost, they stumbled upon the legend of the bride ghost of Matt Helix, a chilling coincidence, or something more. They weren't ghost hunting, they weren't expecting anything paranormal, just camping out, enjoying the view, and caught something they weren't prepared for. A few years back, one of my older relatives was out on one of her usual hikes. She's the kind of person who loves the quiet solitude of the mountains. The trail she takes winds through a remote area with no buildings, no people, just nature and history. There's even this ancient cave along the path, with roots going back to the Stone Age, the Ice Age, and Viking times. It's a stunning, eerie place. That day, she took a few photos, just like she always does, and later uploaded them to Facebook. Nothing unusual at first until people started commenting on one particular photo, asking who was walking with her. The thing is, she was completely alone. She zoomed in, and that's when she saw it, a distant figure, standing in the background. But here's the kicker. She hadn't seen or heard anyone out there. And she's not the type to fake something for attention. She doesn't even know how to edit photos. And frankly, she doesn't care for spooky stuff at all. If you take a look at the second photo, it's even clearer. She was just out hiking and snapping pics of the old Viking-era cave, and accidentally captured something or someone she can't explain. A backpacker was deep in the remote forests of Pennsylvania, camping solo, and documenting the trip with a few casual photos. Nothing seemed off at first, just trees, trails, and the peaceful stillness of the woods. But later that night, while reviewing the photos by the fire, he noticed something deeply unsettling. In the background of one image, there was a figure, still, pale, and if you look closely, completely naked. No clothes, no gear, no sign of civilization, just standing there, half hidden among the trees. He hadn't seen or heard anyone all day. So, who or what was watching him from the shadows? A solo hiker, miles away from civilization, deep in the woods. The silence of nature surrounds him when suddenly, a strange voice interrupts. Some believe it's an EVP, others think it's just a mumble. But what exactly is being said? One viewer swears they hear, "Ooh, son, what is this?" while another thinks it ends with the cryptic, "What is this?" Is it a mysterious voice from beyond or just the wind playing tricks? A well-known commenter praised the lack of leading in the post, applauding the fact that the question isn't swayed by assumptions, unlike some who claim to hear things like, "Ooh, Satan, how is the fizz?" But what do you hear? This chilling clip raises questions that remain unanswered. Who or what could be speaking in the background of this eerie video? Could it be someone or something that was never supposed to be found? And why, in a place so remote, would there be such a strange, unexplained sound? 2 weeks after moving into their new rental home in Kokshetau, Kazakhstan, this couple decided to take a quiet evening walk. The air was cool, the stars just beginning to show, but their destination? Not so peaceful. Right next to their new neighborhood lies the Cossack Cemetery, an eerie, abandoned graveyard that hasn't been used since 1969. At the entrance stand, crumbling monuments honoring soldiers who died in Witwand, and deeper inside, a mass grave of Cossacks executed in 1914. They followed a hiking trail that runs alongside the cemetery. From the path, the old graveyard looked unsettling, overgrown, silent, almost like it was watching them. Curious, they took a few photos. But when they looked back at one of the pictures, they saw something. Something they hadn't noticed before. It wasn't part of the landscape. It wasn't a person. It wasn't supposed to be there. And now they're asking the same question we are. Who or what is that? While tearing through the woods on his dirt bike, this man suddenly heard something that made his blood run cold. The sound of a baby crying, completely alone in the middle of nowhere. In many cultures, this chilling sound is believed to be a lure used by jinn or other supernatural entities. Others fear it could be a sinister trap, possibly tied to human trafficking. The haunting cries sparked a terrifying dilemma. Do you stop and investigate, risking your safety, or keep riding and live with the guilt of what you might have left behind? What would you have done? This guy was just chilling in a hammock having a peaceful moment until one of his friends decided to spice things up.
Give me a push. Yeah, give me a good push.
This ain't scary at all.
Get this side and let them see.
This ain't scary at all.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Corey! Did I just fall? No, I didn't. I did.
The blunt's fucking gone. Fuck!
I have enough for another blunt, bro.
Wait, my weed.
But just as he was getting cocky snap, out of nowhere the hammock gave out and Corey went flying straight down the hill. Luckily, he walked away without a scratch, but it definitely could have ended way worse. While hiking deep in the remote woods of Finland, this man stopped to snap a photo of the breathtaking landscape. But when he looked at the picture later, he was stunned. In the background, something or someone was there. He insists the area was empty when he took the shot. So what did he capture? Was someone silently watching him? Or did he unknowingly photograph something paranormal? A couple was driving through a remote stretch of Oregon when they stumbled upon something bizarre.
Look at this. There's... What the hell? Just randomly in the middle of the forest, in the middle of nowhere, this. I don't even know. Anyway.
Okay, my husband is on it. It's crazy. Like, where did this come from?
Smack in the middle of a forest road, with no warning and no reason, stood a giant tree. Not just lying across the path, this thing was jammed upright into the ground like some kind of monument. "There's no sign of how it got here," she said. "No broken branches, no tire tracks, not even disturbed dirt on the hillside. It's just here, and it shouldn't be." She panned the camera to show her forerunner and the eerily quiet woods. Her husband had already climbed the massive trunk. "It's solid. Whatever put it here meant for it to stay." Theories? Plenty. But one stood out. Given Oregon's long-standing connection to mysterious sightings and folklore, there was only one creature that came to mind: Bigfoot. And judging by the reaction online, they're not the only ones who think so. This has Bigfoot energy written all over it. While hiking deep in the eerie wilderness of New York's Catskill Mountains, two adventurers made a chilling discovery: a hidden cave concealing a grotesque statue. It appeared hand-carved with 6 rusted nails driven into its eyes and a grimy cord strangling its neck. The hikers described feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, yet, against their better judgment, they brought the statue home. They would soon regret it. Within days, their home was consumed by bizarre phenomena. Unexplained noises echoed through the halls, putrid smells hung in the air, and fleeting shadowy figures danced in the corners of their vision. The statue seemed to move on its own, and muddy footprints began appearing without cause. One night, they claimed to have seen a twisted, humanoid figure crouched silently in the darkness. This sinister artifact came to be known as the crone. Eventually, it was transferred to a paranormal museum for safekeeping, but the chaos only followed. Staff reported sudden illnesses, violent seizures, and relentless disturbances. The crone was so disruptive it had to be pulled from public view. Now there are plans to return it to the cave, its dark, rightful resting place. While out hiking through a quiet forest trail, a man stumbled upon something that sent chills down his spine, possibly an animal, arranged in unsettling patterns on the forest floor. It looked disturbingly intentional, almost like part of some ancient ritual. Spooked, he snapped a photo and got out of there fast. Later, he posted the image online, hoping someone could explain what he saw. Theories poured in. Some claimed it was a protective spirit totem. Others believed it was a warning to keep evil away. Whatever it was, one thing became clear to him: that Forrest held secrets he wasn't ready to uncover. He never went back. While hiking through a remote, overgrown cemetery deep in the woods, a group of friends stumbled upon something chilling. Later, one of them shared their experience on Reddit, claiming they felt an eerie presence, as if something unseen was watching them. Then, out of the corner of their eye, they noticed it.
I can't tell. Yeah. Bill. I don't know what I saw. I thought it was a person.
A shadowy figure lurks in the bushes. Frozen with fear, they bolted. Who or what was out there alone in the dark? And more importantly, did they accidentally awaken something that was never meant to be disturbed? During Cuba's 2018 brush with Storm Alberto, torrential rains caused the Zaza River to swell and flood its banks. A group of curious hikers gathered on a nearby bridge, eager to witness the storm's raw power up close. But in an instant, disaster struck. The bridge gave way beneath them, collapsing into the raging waters below with a roar of crashing debris. One man was nearly swept away but managed to leap to safety at the last second, narrowly avoiding the plunge. Miraculously, everyone made it out unharmed, but it was a terrifying reminder of just how unpredictable nature can be. While walking peacefully through the forest near Cardiff, South Wales, Nick Foster was filming his dog, Pop, as she wandered through the underbrush. But what began as a quiet nature stroll quickly took a chilling turn. As Pop explored ahead, Nick caught something strange on camera.
Squirrels, up here. Come here. Come on. This way.
A pale figure moving silently between the trees. It was partially concealed by thick vegetation, but its unnatural motion and ghostly appearance made it stand out instantly. Later, when Nick reviewed the footage, the hairs on his neck stood up. The figure looked eerily like a ghostly soldier, helmeted and wearing a heavy coat, wandering as if lost in time. He couldn't shake the feeling that they hadn't been alone, and he wasn't the only one unsettled. Viewers who watched the video swore the figure resembled a World War-era soldier. Some even speculated that the woods might have once been the site of forgotten military activity. Given Cardiff's rich and often haunted history, with eerie landmarks like Castell Coch and Llandaff Cathedral frequently tied to ghost sightings, the idea didn't seem so far-fetched. Was it just a trick of the light? Or had Nick and Pop crossed paths with a spirit from another time? One night, a curious Reddit user wandered into an old graveyard in Cardiff and snapped a few eerie photos. But one picture stood out, capturing what looked like a ghostly figure standing near a large stone cross. At first, the user dismissed it as just a gravestone or a shadow. But after returning several times and trying to recreate the photo, nothing came close. Whether it's a trick of the light or something more supernatural, the chilling image has only deepened Cardiff's haunted reputation, leaving many to ask, was it the ghost of a long-lost monk? 18 years ago, John snapped a photo during a trip to a dense woodland. But when he looked back at the image, something chilling stood out. A ghostly figure barely visible among the trees. It looked like a man in a jacket, silently watching John from the shadows. Was it just a trick of the light and our mind's classic pareidolia? Or did John accidentally capture a real ghost on camera? What are the odds? A Reddit user recently shared a chilling encounter by Lake Colby in Cadiza, Florida. While fumbling with their phone camera to figure out the flash, they snapped a quick photo of two women standing in front of them, their tour guide, and a young woman in a baseball cap. But when they looked at the photo, something eerie stood out. Behind the young woman's shoulder was a faint but unmistakable face, one that didn't belong to anyone in their group. Disturbed, the user showed the picture to the young woman and her mother. The moment they saw it, both gasped. They claimed the face looked exactly like a close family friend who had died when the girl was just a child. Later, the family sent the Redditor an old photo of the deceased friend. The resemblance? Uncanny. A Reddit user recently shared a chilling photo snapped by their uncle's game camera near Crystal Mountain, Washington. At first glance, it's just a peaceful shot of a snow-covered forest, quiet, secluded, almost serene. But look closer, especially in the lower right corner, and things take a dark turn. There, partially hidden among the trees, is a strange figure, bald, with an unnerving grin that looks not quite human. Baffled and a bit creeped out, the user and their uncle uploaded the photo online, hoping someone might have an explanation. The reflection in the glass, just their uncle's buddy's finger, nothing supernatural there. But the figure in the forest? No one can agree on what it is? A ghost? Someone in a mask? Or could it be something else entirely? Something unknown, watching from the woods? A group of friends were enjoying a day trip to a quiet river in Pennsylvania. Everything felt normal, just laughs, sunshine, and a quick Snapchat selfie to capture the moment. But when they looked back at the photo later, their smiles vanished. In the background stood a ghostly figure that looked like a small, zombie-like girl. The group swore no one else had been near them. Digging into the town's past, they uncovered a chilling truth. Years ago, a young girl had drowned in that very river. After the trip, strange things started happening. Streetlights would flicker whenever they walked under them, first in Pennsylvania, then back home in Ohio. One friend even woke up with a mysterious gash on their neck, which vanished just as suddenly a few weeks later, right when the flickering lights finally stopped. Whether the story is fact or fiction, one thing's certain: the photo is terrifying. Two men were fishing on a foggy morning when their peaceful outing took a chilling turn. Out of nowhere, they heard frantic screams cutting through the mist, loud and desperate cries for help. Then, bam, a strange, sharp sound echoed across the lake. And just like that, silence. Commenters have debated what happened. Some say the noise sounded like a gunshot. Others think it may have been the impact of two boats colliding, with the screams serving as a last-second warning. With low visibility and reckless boaters already making the lake a known danger zone, the men tried to investigate, but the thick fog made it impossible to see a thing. To this day, no one knows what truly happened out there. So, what do you think you heard? While staying at their cozy cabin tucked away in the woods, a woman decided to snap some festive Christmas photos of their beloved dogs. But as she flipped through the pictures later that evening, one image made her heart drop. Behind one of the trees, partially hidden in the shadows, was a figure. Someone or something was watching. What's chilling is that no one recognized the person, and the cabin sits on a secluded island where any outsider would be nearly impossible to miss. Everyone swears they saw no one else that day. So, who or what was in that photo? Could it be the restless spirit of the cabin's previous owner, who died back in 2004? An Australian man and his friends were out adventuring along a remote river, just looking for a fun way to beat the heat. Spotting a sturdy tree, he tied a rope to a branch and got ready to swing into the inviting water below. Everything looked safe, until it wasn't.
Oh. Boy, do the water on that one.
The moment he leapt, the surface exploded. A massive crocodile burst out from beneath the water, jaws wide, snapping inches from his legs. Heart pounding, he thrashed back to shore in a full-blown panic, realizing just how close he'd come to a brutal end. Shaken but miraculously unharmed, he knew one thing for sure: it was time to call it a day. Early one morning at 6 a.m., a Reddit user set out for a peaceful kayak ride on Tull Lake in Minnesota. The water was glass still, the surroundings eerily quiet, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But later, while reviewing a photo they'd snapped near the tree line, they noticed something chilling. A strange, shadowy figure lurking just beneath the trees, partially submerged in the water. The image is grainy, making it hard to identify exactly what it is, but the user swears they were completely alone on the lake. Skeptics have chimed in, suggesting it might just be another kayaker, or even a swimmer in a wetsuit. But something about it doesn't sit right. A Reddit user recently shared a spine-chilling memory from a lake trip with friends, one that took a terrifying turn years later.
I'm not. That was a lie. That's how I ended it.
The mirror said, fuck that, I ain't getting off live.
Somebody need to know where we at.
In the original clip, you can hear someone nervously say, "Somebody needs to know where we at." At the time, it just felt like a typical cautious joke. But when the video resurfaced in his memories, he noticed something no one had picked up on before. A faint, eerie scream echoing from the distance. The creepy part? None of them had heard it in person that night.
I'm not. That was a lie. That's why I ended it and started playing it.
Amir said, fuck that, I ain't getting off live. Somebody need to know where we at.
And it didn't sound like anyone they knew. What's more, they had all felt a weird, unsettling vibe at the lake that night, for no clear reason. Could that distant scream have been the reason why? Or was something else lurking in the dark, just out of sight? While ice fishing, this man witnessed something downright bizarre. A massive fish suddenly stood upright on the frozen lake, gasping for air like it was trying to walk. Some call it a freak of nature, while others half-jokingly wonder, is evolution hitting fast forward? Was it just a strange illusion? Or did he catch a glimpse of something truly unnatural? In 2003, two friends were relaxing in their remote cabin when one of them casually snapped a photo with a disposable camera. In one eerie shot, a skull-like image appeared on the screen of a TV that wasn't even plugged in. Shortly after, one of them deployed to Iraq, where he endured harrowing experiences and lost several close comrades but survived. Years later, they still wonder, was it just a creepy coincidence? Or a chilling premonition of the horrors that lay ahead? A young couple was exploring near a toxic lake when they spotted something unusual floating in the water. Curious and a little unsettled, they began filming. They uploaded the eerie footage online, not realizing the horrifying truth behind what they'd captured. Later, when they found out what the object was, the woman quickly deleted the video and opened up about the experience in a blog post. A year after their discovery, police confirmed the chilling truth that the floating object was a suitcase containing human remains. The couple's deleted video ended up being crucial in helping authorities locate the suitcase and recover it from the lake. The shocking find launched a full investigation, with their footage becoming a key piece of evidence. She was never told who the victim was, leaving behind a haunting mystery that still lingers. This user recently revisited a photo he snapped in Hawaii a year ago and noticed something chilling he hadn't seen before. In the water, just behind him, stands a mysterious girl, staring directly into the camera. At the time, he swears only one friend was with him, who is also clearly visible in the background. He doesn't remember anyone else being there. Maybe it's just a random swimmer, or maybe it's something more. The eerie part? That unsettling gaze, locked onto the lens, like she knew the photo would be seen again. What if his memory isn't failing him at all? Reddit user Alternative Pickle 3 caught something truly chilling on their cabin's security camera late one night around 11 p.m. In the bottom right corner of the screen, a shadowy figure suddenly appeared just outside the house. But here's where it gets downright eerie. The snow beneath where the figure stood was completely untouched. No footprints, no signs of movement. Then, just as the camera's night vision kicked in, the figure vanished without a trace. This person shared a bone-chilling Polaroid photo taken by a friend during a trip to Costa Rica. Her friend had traveled there for a meaningful cause, helping with beach cleanups and assisting baby sea turtles. But during some downtime, she, a local guide, and another tourist decided to explore beyond the usual paths. Their curiosity led them deep into the forest, where they stumbled upon a long-abandoned tuberculosis hospital strictly off-limits, crumbling with decay and cloaked in an unsettling silence. Inside, the group wandered the desolate halls, taking Polaroid shots of the eerie graffiti-covered walls. Most of the photos were exactly what you'd expect: empty rooms and urban decay. But one stood out. In a dusty, graffiti-stained room, a strange figure appeared in the developed image. Gaunt, pale, with long black hair, wearing what looked like a hospital gown and staring from a window. The unsettling part? No one had seen anyone there when the photo was taken. To this day, they have no explanation for the figure. Just a photo and a memory none of them can forget. Every single day, without fail, this person's next-door neighbor does something truly bizarre. They peer into the yard through a narrow gap between the house and a large tree. Even after being caught in the act, they keep doing it like nothing ever happened. What kind of person behaves like that, and why? A Reddit user recently shared a photo from a peaceful trip to a forest in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where they were trying to capture a playful shot of a tree. However, upon zooming in, something strange caught their eye. A mysterious gray figure appeared to be standing at the edge of a fence. Some commenters speculated that the figure resembled a woman in Victorian-era clothing, possibly a nurse or housemaid. Given the area's rich Civil War history, could this be the spirit of a Civil War nurse still lingering in the woods? The eerie discovery has sparked some fascinating theories. A haunting photo emerged from deep within an abandoned cabin near Skeleton Lake, and it's sending chills down spines. In the eerie image, a thick mist appears to take on a distinct shape, almost like a figure lurking in the cabin's faint light. But here's the unsettling part. According to the person who took the photo, the place was empty at the time. The uploader is now 23, and that cabin has stood untouched since their childhood. So what could have created the ghostly mist? And is it as empty as it seems? This person was going about their day when an unexpected Ring camera alert from the basement popped up on their phone. Curious, they checked the footage, only to be met with something downright eerie.
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
A chilling message echoed, "Hi, you are currently being recorded." Then, from out of nowhere, a strange mist began descending from above. But it didn't just fall, it moved, almost as if it had a mind of its own, first drifting left, then slowly veering right. What made it all the more unsettling? The basement had no windows, no possible drafts or outside airflow. Whatever that mist was, it wasn't natural. Late Halloween night in Lockport, New York, a group of friends found themselves wandering near the entrance of a dark, quiet cave. The place felt empty and eerily still. One of them casually snapped a photo by the entrance, thinking nothing of it. But the next day, everything changed. As they scrolled through their pictures, one image stopped them cold. Standing right at the entrance, exactly where they had just been, was a shadowy figure. No one had seen anything. They had walked past that very spot seconds later, laughing, talking, completely unaware. Now, staring at the photo, a terrifying question haunted them. What else was out there that night? While exploring an old abandoned house on their property, a man and his stepdad stumbled onto something chilling. As his stepdad was prying bullets out of a wall, left behind from who knows what, the man snapped a quick photo. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Until later. Reviewing the pictures, he froze. Staring back at him were two eerily sharp, distinct faces that hadn't been there before. No one else had been with them, no mirrors, no photos, no tricks of the light. Just those ghostly, sorrowful expressions frozen in time. Locals have long whispered about the house's grim past, how over 100 years ago, a father allegedly murdered his entire family within those very walls. Could these faces be remnants of that tragedy? A glitch seems unlikely. A haunting, far more plausible. Reddit user YourFriend16 just posted a 15-second clip called "This Video I Took at a Lake." It starts calmly, with the gentle sounds of nature on a peaceful hike. But out of nowhere, a blood-curdling scream shatters the silence. Maybe it was an animal, but there's something eerily human about it that'll send chills down your spine. This solo camping trip was supposed to be a survival challenge, but it quickly turned into something far more chilling. After kayaking deep into the wilderness, he set up camp beneath a makeshift shelter, bracing himself for a freezing night ahead. But the real test came the next morning. As he hiked back toward his kayak, something stopped him in his tracks.
Hello? Hello?
"Hello?" he called out. No answer, but someone or something was out there watching him. Panicked, he reached for his flashlight only to realize it was gone. And then, just as suddenly, the light he had seen flickered off. Silence gave way to the sound of snapping branches closing in. The only way back to his kayak was through the very spot where the light had been. Not willing to take the risk, he veered off and took a much longer route. When he finally reached the shore, the presence was gone. But the unsettling feeling of being watched, that stayed with him. If you liked that video, make sure to check out the Dare to Watch YouTube channel, where we have tons of videos just like this. And if you want to see our latest scary hiking encounters, make sure to click subscribe so you'll get notifications.